Hola! Well, the end of a short day. Literally, I was digging ditches today. Yay! But you know, I was thinking it was my wish to tell you why it was such a good day. But you're here, and I'm here. The sky is blue, the trees are green, CO2 is feeding our planet like it's supposed to, and we're still basically on the cusp of being a free nation, part of the free world. So I'm thinking about that. I've been watching a few things for the election here, and see, I watched Scheer a couple times. Really, you know, Andrew, sorry, man. Like, whatever. Maybe a few people on there on the live chat. But I noticed with CBC, with Trudeau this morning, they disabled the comments, wouldn't allow a live chat. Yeah, they're really they've bought and paid for media that doesn't work for the free press or the people. They're really doing their best to keep their boys' butt covered, and I'm not talking about the dirty butt that runs Trudeau. I'm just talking about Trudeau's own butt. It's probably white. Hey, you think when he black? No, forget it. Somebody said to me, said, "Oh, I've been watching your videos, but you need to dumb them down." I'm like, what? Really? Yeah, you need to dumb them down. You know stuff, and people just don't know this stuff. And it's, really? So people just don't know what a public servant is? People don't know that this is a constitutional monarchy? People don't know that the Queen has an oath to the people to serve the people and to keep the customs and the common law. People don't know that mankind writes up the indenture of a trust, say like, oh, I don't know, the Constitution, the British North American Act, and so on and so forth, to show everybody outright up front how the corporate body politic is supposed to operate. You guys don't know that? You know, it reminds me, there was this old film back when Diefenbaker's Bill of Rights came out. Now, he couldn't get the provinces, I talked about this before, but he couldn't get the provinces, or couldn't get the mandate to get royal assent on it to make it official. So the Bill of Rights is almost, pretty much a useless piece of paper. And of course, the courts don't recognize it as anything. The Canadian courts don't really recognize it as anything. It's just a piece of legislature. Okay, well that's all wonderful and dandy and great. Okay, so I was watching this old film, and it's about the time that this legislative piece of paper came out, the Bill of Rights. And a lot of Canadians don't know there is a Bill of Rights. And so they were sitting with the British representative, and they have the oldest Bill of Rights. I think it goes back to the 1600s. And then the English one, and then the American one, of course, Bill of Rights. And so you got an American there and a Canadian there and the Englishman there, and it was funny. It was funny because one of them didn't even know that England had a Bill of Rights. And watching what's going on in England right now, I'm not even sure you people know that you have a Bill of Rights, and I'm sorry to hear that. So the Bill of Rights is there. This is what the government has to recognize, the legitimate government running on this land, on behalf of this nation. But it was interesting and this was the main point, was it doesn't matter about a piece of paper, okay? The Constitution is there to show the government, or the government actors, because that's all they're doing is they're acting, Justin is supposed to act as a prime minister. He's not a prime minister. He wasn't born a prime minister. He was born a man. And I was going to say, he was born a man-child, and he still is a man-child. Pretty much. But he was born a man. He has a creator. And so we have this paperwork to keep our creation in a box. And this is how they are supposed to act. Now, the Legal Society does have something called a constitutional challenge. If I don't know, somebody's off base and they're trying to hold a person, but they're breaking the Constitution to holding a person to account of something that's unconstitutional. Let's say like the privileged driving law, like I was talking before. You have no excuse to come into any man's home unless there's a warrant signed with a bond attached. Maybe that's what people don't understand. Not only do they have to give you the warrant, all right, they never give people the warrant. They always keep it, because a lot of times what the cops do is they'll make up a warrant, not get it signed, use it on you, and then after you're arrested, then they go and get the warrant signed. So it's always good to get the warrant. How do you enforce that when they have the guns? But when these guys were talking about the Bill of Rights, the one man said, and he was the American side, and he says, look, none of this stuff means anything unless one of mankind, he said unless a man, but unless one of mankind comes forward and stands. Now, it has to take a man to stand to hold these people to account. Pretty hard to do with the constitutional challenge, because now the man has entered into the legal realm instead of the realm of man, which is why I'm always going on about court of record, trial by jury, that only falls under the common law, where the magistrate is independent of the tribunal. Now, the reason I'm bringing all this stuff up is, like a lot of people don't understand the difference between true, what is true, and truth, what is truth. And everybody goes, well, what's the difference? Well, there's a huge difference. True, nobody knows what's true except for the Creator. Only the Creator knows what's true. So if you're thinking of the Creator as the Big Bang, or as God, or as whatever, your Creator, whatever you believe your Creator is, that's one thing. But you got to understand that God did not create the governments. Okay, mankind created the governments. So only man can tell government persons what is true. All right. So, like, if you're signing up a claim, and willing and having it notarized or whatever, and willing to swear that all the above is true, and will verify in any open court under oath or affirmation. You see, because if you've done something, or if you've created something, and all of a sudden the public servants show up and try to claim that you're doing something else, but because it was you doing it, you said it, or you caused it, or you created it, you are the only one who holds what's true in the matter. Now, truth, Trudeau, the man I address is Justin, but he tells you the truth. Okay, he tells you what his truth is. Okay, so truth could be the sky is blue, the grass is green, the water is clean. It could be a truth. It could be his truth. I mean, he didn't create the government. He didn't create the corporate body politic. He acts as a creation of mankind when he acts as the Prime Minister. So he gives his truth over the matter. And just because it's his truth doesn't make it true. And just because it's his truth doesn't make him a liar. You know, it's like when he got pinned for he was using the company jet, okay? Canadians hard-earned money, and before the election started, he was flying back and forth from Ontario to BC, attending fundraisers in BC. Now, his truth was, well, BC is my second home. Now, I don't know that it's true, but I do know that that was his truth. And because it was his truth, that was also his lawful excuse. Okay, everyone under the criminal code has a right to a lawful excuse, both in the common law, which is well documented here, and that the Supreme Court recognizes, but also with statutory law. Now, those of mankind that operate as or act as crown prosecutors and such, and you got to remember too, it isn't like we hire like somebody just to act as a crown prosecutor, like we do, like say attorneys general, but also the government will hire, the public service will hire a private firm to act as a prosecutor on you, depending on the jurisdiction and the venue of the court. So there is a difference between truth and true. Right? You know, I can say, oh, I don't know, I used to fly when I was skinny, and that's my truth. Unless you can come by and verify under oath or affirmation that I never did fly, that truth holds supreme. And, you know, and that brings me in the difference between an affidavit and a claim. Okay, when a man makes a claim and puts it down on paper and claims it and will verify in open court or under oath or affirmation that all herein above be true, right? That holds true unless somebody could come forward with a higher claim and prove it's not true. It's like a tree I was cutting the other day. I claimed it. It's mine. It's on our land. Now, if a corporation came by and said, you can't have that tree because I have a tree license here, like I have a license for harvesting here, you know, that's not your tree. You see, I have a higher claim because I'm a man and I am of this land, and that tree is of this land, and I have a right to claim that tree to forage for necessities, you know, my livelihood, right? My survival. Whereas a corporation cannot come and sit and verify under oath or affirmation, you know, in open court that's their tree, right? You see, all the resources of this land belong to the people, okay? Belong to the mankind of this land. And so what it is we have our public servants managing the resources on our behalf so that they can have corporations that pay us royalties that go into the Canadian Revenue Fund on our behalf also. All right, so that's you know, that's supposed to supply us and make our needs on this land for what we need. What has happened though is that people like the man I address as Justin Trudeau, they believe that this all belongs to them, and as long as they give Elizabeth her cut, you see, because the Queen and the land are one, and the people and the land are one, and the Queen serves the people at her leisure, at her pleasure, she has a claim also. I think, like I said, the last time was 13 billion that she got off of, and that was off of our natural resources. Now the government thinks the rest is theirs, that they can play with willy-nilly. You know, they keep telling you how they're going to give you this, give you that, give you that. Well, no, hang on, guys. It all belongs to the people here. Okay, anybody of this land has a claim to any royalties that were derived of this land. It doesn't belong to you, it belongs to us. So you're there as our managers, as our hirelings. And to put it into perspective, you are there as a trustee. And we have an indenture called the Constitution, the British North American Act, Constitution 1867, 1982, Charter of Rights and Freedoms. This is how you are supposed to act. This is your mandate, and this is the box that you can operate in. Anything out of that box is well, now you're not acting as that person, as that title that the people granted you, and so now you've lost your Crown immunity, and there's no way that the Canadian Revenue Fund should be backing up anyone who thinks they have Crown immunity when they've stepped out of their mandated jurisdiction to operate. So that's why we have these, and the only way we can hold these people to account is if mankind stands up and holds them to account, right? So if I was doing a constitutional challenge, what I would be doing was, first off, I'd waive the benefit to be seen as a legal person, because I'm not one. That would be a poser. I would be a liar. That would be deceptive. That would be vexatious. That would be wrong. So, because they don't offer paperwork to hold these courts on this land and recognize their creator of mankind, that is their creator, when the Constitution says that Canada recognizes the supremacy of God, that's who we are. We are Canada's God. We are the God over the corporate body politic. And when I read that poem to you the other day on the other video, because of envy and spite and hatred towards their creator, like Frankenstein, they do whatever they can to put us as persons, as legal persons, under their feet, and then tell us what they're going to afford us or give us. And that is totally the tail wagging the dog. Now, our country is going to hell in a handbasket. This nation is divided by these public servants that are jealous of our standing as mankind. And no matter how corrupt or bad they get, they can never stand as man. I mean, do you guys realize that even the Russian Constitution recognizes man? That's right. So anyways, so their truth is that they're going to give us. No, we've entrusted you as trustees within the indenture that you operate in as the person that we allowed you or privileged you or benefited you, granted you to act. The audacity of these folks. I also thought when Max finally got approved, okay, the debates, I'm really still not seeing anything. Like, this young man of the Free Press goes in to listen. I don't know, Trudeau was making an announcement or something, and the Goon Squad shows up and kicks him out again. He's our free press. The free press is by the people. Okay? He is accredited by the people. Alright? We are the highest accreditor that there is. He is accredited by the people he serves. Now, if we decide that he is no good, we won't watch him and he won't go anywhere. But how dare you tell a man of this land who acts as our free press, okay? Our early warning system to corrupt politicians and corrupt public servants, that he cannot attend to record what you're saying and to ask you questions. Now, I noticed, again, CBC knocked off the chats and knocked off comments again. These guys are just blatantly corrupt. How long do you think you can fool the people? How long do you think you can keep people in in a dormant state of mind. How long do you think it's going to be? Like, do you think you're going to have like enough bad laws in place to have us in a complete police state by the time the people that you're fooling right now figure it out? I think we're on the cusp, and we've just had enough. Trudeau, you get back in. Heading back to Alberta, and I'm going to go do my best to work as hard as I can to help with the Republic of Alberta. And what it's going to take, even Western Canada wanted to leave, we can't leave as a whole. We have to leave as nation states, as sovereign states, and then come back together with a constitution that binds everybody together. So, like, say, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC. Well, I don't have much faith in BC. I won't even go there, but it's kind of crazy here. But say there is 4 provinces of the West that do separate. Each one needs a constitution formed by the people first. Okay, because your province is your highest. It's your highest government in the province. A municipality is a high government. I noticed, they were talking about, cities, municipalities wanting the feds to come out with more gun laws. Well, gun laws only actually apply to the feds as far as import-export goes. They really don't have the authority or the mandate. Well, they do have the authority. They have the guns, so they have the dictatorship. Authority and dictatorship are the same. So they do have the dictatorship to make things, but it's not correct. Every province has the right to have its own gun laws, how we see fit. The feds have the jurisdiction of import and export within the jurisdiction of the borders of the jurisdiction. So they can decide what can come in and out, but they don't have a right. The feds do not have a mandate to make gun laws. Alberta could have full assault weapons, and BC could decide no, single shot only. Whereas Manitoba could say, okay, semi-automatics. Assault weapons are fully automatic. That's what they are. That's what these hoods and flak jackets that show up at your house in the middle of the night to take you away because you didn't pay child support or something. That's what they have. They have assault weapons. How we ever got down to that point where we have masked men in armor with assault weapons showing up at mom and pop's door over confusion, mistake, or just over basic court order, over family court, over child maintenance payments. That doesn't jive, man. And I think what they've been doing to us is using us as a kind of a practice ground. See what they can get away with. See what the people are going to put up with. But there again, you and I, okay, or we, or us, we're so busy trying to eke out a living that how do we stand? And I mean, we are so uneducated about our history, about our nation, our culture, now that this man who acts as prime minister, this man I address as Justin, can come out and say to the world, well, we're a post-nation state. And why he's saying that is because we have a de facto government. We don't have a de jure government. And I think that's his truth, and that's where he's playing with words on us. The best thing that can ever happen to this nation is if our native cousins, our Quebecois cousins, our maritime cousins, our western cousins, right, our northern cousins, if we all came together as a people and said enough is enough, right, and we put a mandate down on the government on how to act. Defunding state media is probably one of the first things that needs to be done. defunding that state propaganda station needs to be done. Having common folk start look over the books, the textbooks, the school curriculums, and maybe get rid of that whole crown stuff, that communist crown corporation bullshit that resides over our public funded schools, and maybe we could have fairly educated people of this land take that over in every province. Make sure we're not homogenized as coast to coast to coast in our school, because each part of the country has distinct culture and history behind the culture. Like outside of Quebec City a few years back in the 90s, I believe, the government decided that they were going to change the name to Nigger Rock. A lot of people don't realize that there is a historical site where the slaves were buried outside of Quebec City, and volunteers, people keeping their history, bad or good history, it doesn't matter. It's our history of our nation. And I think as long as we keep our history together, we can look back to say never again. But what these clowns wish to do to us is they wish to homogenize us, tell you have no history, so that they can repeat the same mistakes or the same crimes upon the people through identification politics, through using your indifference, using your uniqueness, using the people's uniqueness and pitting some folks against the other. Listen, we all have one common goal, and that is we all have a public service. The public service belongs to each and every individual on this land. Everyone has a right, okay? We are the God of Canadian government. We know what's true. We know we have a culture. We know the truth, not their truth. We have our own truth, because this is our land. It's not their land. We don't need their handouts. Just because they're extorting and using our ignorance and our lack of critical thinking and our lack of holding the government to account, they're using these things to turn us around so that we hate each other, so that we're too busy fighting each other, and then turn around handing us out what already belongs to us. It's like me having a staff in my mansion, and I go to use one of my cars, and they said, "Well, we'll let you use this car today. Look at us. Look what we're doing for you. Right? We're going to allow you to go into the fridge and make a meal today. Look at us. Look what we're doing for you." Well, hang on, man. I paid for the house. I pay your wages. I paid for what's in the fridge, and I paid for the car. Off of my labor, off of my inheritance, which happens to be the resources of this land. They did this to our native cousins. They kept us indifferent. This whole white thing, that is government propaganda on us through special interest, so that they can keep the people divided. Remember, it's the manner of mankind that you are, okay? What manner of mankind am I? And what do I see when I look through the gateway to my soul in the mirror in the morning? That is what's going to make us a great and wonderful nation. That is going to be Canada's great moment, when we can come together and allow the minds of Canadians and the skills of Canadians and the artistic renaissance be expressed through our music, through our arts, and through our discussions. Like,